What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brandon Smith. It is snowing like crazy outside here in southern Ontario, but I am warm inside, ready to tell you guys about this case. So today's case, not one, but two people and their vehicle disappear off the face of the earth. And 17 years to the day, still no trace of these people or their vehicle has ever been found. There are so many mysterious elements, and the sheer dearth of evidence is astounding. So strap in and allow me to tell you the details of this nonsensical disappearance. Are you ready? I feel like you're ready. Let's get into it. The day is Saturday, February 19th, 2005. The song Let Me Love You by R&B crooner Mario is #1 on the Billboard charts. The film Hitch, starring Will Smith, Eva Mendes, and Kevin James, is #1 at the box office. And tomorrow, Jeff Gordon will win the 47th running of the Daytona 500 in Daytona Beach, Florida. 1,500 kilometers up the eastern seaboard from Daytona Beach, Florida, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. are taking in a live performance with some friends at a local bar. The music is great and the enjoyment level is high, but both Danielle and Richard have plans the next day, so they must call it an early night. They leave the bar and exchange goodbyes with their friends. The two walk side by side down the street and disappear into the darkness forever. This day in mystery. Saturday, February 19th, 2005, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is unreasonably cold. Just like it is right here. Just like it is now. With a daytime high of -3 degrees Celsius, the dog days of winter in the second state are well underway. Danielle Imbo is a 35-year-old mortgage loan processor living in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. The woman is known for her easy spirit, raspy singing voice, and innate ability to make those around her feel comfortable. She is also a mom. She has an 18-month-old son. The marriage that the child was born from has now ended, and Imbo once again finds herself single. The relationship status doesn't last long. Enter Richard Petrone Jr. Richard is a 35-year-old man from Philadelphia. He loves Bruce Springsteen, watching car racing, and the Philadelphia Flyers. He also has a passion for cake decoration and works at his family's bakery called Viking Pastries. The junior Petrone is being groomed to take over the business and will ascend to the mantle of sole proprietor when his parents are ready to retire. He is also a dad. Richard has a 14-year-old daughter named Angela. His relationship with the child's mother was never particularly serious, but the two get along reasonably well and share a profound love for the daughter they brought into this world. In 2003, Richard's sister, Christine Petrone, is going through a divorce. She finds a sympathetic ear in Danielle Imbo, and the two are commiserating over a bottle of wine. While drinking away their sorrows, Christine's brother Richard calls Christine on her cell. She tells Richard that she is with Danielle Imbo. Richard has known Danielle since they were 15 years old. Danielle always had a crush on Richard as teens, but the older boy never really paid her much attention. but now the attractive single mom very much has his attention. The interest is mutual, and soon after reconnecting, the two quickly develop a romantic relationship. The relationship is somewhat one-sided, however, with Richard being much more interested in Danielle than vice versa. Additionally, Danielle has ongoing issues with her ex and doesn't want to pursue anything romantic with anybody at the moment, instead opting to focus on her relationship with her young son. Richard respects Danielle's priority and her decision. On February 19th, 2005, Richard calls a group of friends to invite them downtown for a night of revelry and live music. Most of the friends have plans and cannot attend, but one of the group is interested in the invite, Danielle Imbo. Danielle's ex has her son for the weekend and she loves music, so she opts into the much needed night out. At 8:49 p.m., Richard arrives at Danielle's Mount Laurel, New Jersey condominium complex in his 2001 Dodge Dakota pickup truck. At 9:29 p.m., the pair arrive at Abilene's Bar on 429 South Street in downtown Philadelphia. Richard's friends, Anthony Valentino and Anthony's wife, Michelle, are already inside. With the group now fully in attendance, the foursome takes up residence alongside the bar rail. The music is exceptional and the mood is untroubled. A carefree night out for the 30-somethings is a rarity, and they are taking full advantage of the evening. But alas, Saturday nights lead to Sunday mornings, and both Danielle and Richard have much to do that day. Anthony and Michelle are not, however, ready to call it a night, but do step outside the noisy bar to say goodbye to their departing friends. At 11:45 p.m., they watch Danielle and Richard walk down South Street in the direction of the black Dodge pickup truck. The married couple heads back into the bar, and Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. disappear into the Philadelphia night. The next day in Mount Laurel, Danielle's ex tries to get a hold of his former wife to arrange a time to drop off their son. Danielle never answers the phone. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, Richard's parents, Marge and Richard Sr., are shocked when their son fails to show up at the bakery. Richard lives in an apartment just above the confectionery, so his father travels upstairs to prod his son into attendance. Richard is not there. As the day goes on, their panic increases. They call Richard's sisters, they call his friends, they call his daughter, they call the young lady's mother, but no one knows where Richard is. With no sign of their son, they call the police and report him missing. Philadelphia police go to work. They track down Anthony and Michelle. They tell police they haven't seen Richard since the night before and tell them that they should talk to Danielle Imbo, as she was the one who left with Richard, for more information about his whereabouts. The authorities try to locate the woman, but are unsuccessful in all attempts to reach her. And they soon realize that they do not have one person missing, they have two. Police visit Abilene's bar, Danielle and Richard's last known location. They interview the staff and no one reports any problems from Saturday night. Anthony and Michelle, the last known people to see Danielle and Richard, also report that the two were in high spirits and did not have any problem with each other or anyone at the bar. Police branch out from the bar and interview residents of the community. No one reports anything suspicious and do not remember seeing the couple or the black pickup truck on February 19th. Surveillance in the area is virtually non-existent, and what little footage exists does not capture Danielle or Richard at any point in the night. They look at surveillance from the various bridges that Richard could have taken to drive Danielle back home to New Jersey. They find that absolutely no footage exists showing Richard's pickup truck past 10 p.m. on Saturday, February 19th. With no evidence to be obtained, police look to question the people in the missing duo's life for answers. In their effort, Richard, they discover, is virtually unassailable. His relationship with his daughter's mother is long over, and the two have a very uneventful and cordial history. His parents love their son, and his sisters love their brother. He has no known enemies, and no one can think of anyone who would want to hurt the unassuming gentleman from the city of brotherly love. When police interview the people in Danielle Imbo's life, the narrative is a little different. Like Richard, Danielle is also well liked by friends and family. However, her relationship with her ex is not as uneventful. As such, police soon find themselves on the doorstep of Danielle's ex, Joseph Imbo. He tells them he is willing to cooperate and agrees to an interview. Joe says that on the night of February 19th into the morning of February 20th, he was 40 miles away from Mount Laurel at a house party in Princeton. He also tells police that there were approximately 40 people in attendance, including a retired New York police chief, all of whom will corroborate his presence at the event. He says that he would not hurt his wife and that he was devastated that the mother of his child was missing. Police are able to confirm that Joe was at the house in Princeton on February 19th and that he had remained there throughout the night and following morning without recess. With no one else to question and still no trace of the missing pair, police are at a loss. Where are Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr.? On the night of Saturday, February 19th, Danielle and Richard were last seen at a bar. According to Anthony and Michelle, while adamant that the two were not intoxicated, they did confess that both Danielle and Richard had been drinking that night. As such, police naturally had to explore the idea that an alcohol-induced accident caused the disappearance of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. Police were unable to obtain any images of Richard's truck going over any bridge or crossing through any toll booths after 10 p.m. on February 19th. However, police could not be certain that the vehicle did not access any of the bridges to New Jersey after this point, as not all vehicles could be definitively identified and the truck may have evaded surveillance detection. Furthermore, an accident could have befallen the couple before they even reached any bridge. The fact that the pickup truck went missing with the couple is the most proof-positive piece of evidence in the accidental disappearance theory. If the truck was submerged deep underwater, it would make sense why it and the couple remains missing to this day. Downtown Philadelphia is not exactly the safest place in the world. Philadelphia as a whole consistently ranks above the national average in terms of crime, especially violent offenses. In fact, the city has the highest violent crime rate of the 10 American cities with a population greater than 1 million residents. In the year 2005, there were a total of 377 confirmed homicides in the city, but there may have been 379. Danielle and Richard could have easily become the victims of random violence in a city replete with homicide. Proponents of this theory surmise that on the way to their vehicle, Danielle and Richard were carjacked. The perpetrators then drove them to a different location, murdered the couple, and disposed of their body for the sole purpose of acquiring their vehicle. However, when the disappearance of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. and their missing vehicle got widespread media attention, the 2001 Dodge Dakota may have become too notorious for utilization. The criminals more than likely would have had to then sell the parts for profit or run the vehicle through a compactor to rid themselves fully of the memorial to their misdeeds. Police know the missing truck's vehicle identification number, and regardless of the circumstances surrounding its disappearance, the truck's identification number has never appeared in register ever again. Danielle Imbo was going through a separation at the time of her disappearance. The separation was decidedly tumultuous. Months before the birth of their son, Danielle's husband Joe Imbo had purchased the couple tickets to Super Bowl 37 in San Diego, California. However, in the days before the event, the pregnant Danielle fell ill, so Joe was forced to attend alone. This illness would have unbelievable consequences for Danielle and her relationship. On the plane to San Diego, Joe met a woman from Georgia. When Joe returned from Super Bowl Sunday, he told Danielle that he was leaving her for the woman from the Peach State and moving to Georgia immediately. Danielle was, of course, shattered. She moved out of the large home and into a small condominium. She gave birth to a son in August 2003 and sank into a deep depression. She spent her days chain smoking and seldom left her condo. However, with the extraordinary help of friends and family in the subsequent months, she slowly rebounded into her life. This is also when she reconnected with Richard Petrone Jr. In a twist of fate, things were now really going well for the young divorcee from New Jersey. Down south in Georgia, however, the grass was proving less green on the other side of the fence. Joe and his paramour were fighting constantly, and in November 2004, they ended their relationship. Joe moved back to New Jersey, and back in the Garden State now, Joe wanted his family back. Danielle, however, did not want Joe back, but she also did not think it was fair to continue a romantic relationship with Richard amidst the backdrop of Joe's return, the recency of their separation, and the outstanding feelings. Begrudgingly, Richard acquiesced to Danielle's request, but ensured that the two would remain friends. But Joe is not satisfied with Danielle just being single. He wants his wife and everything they had before his affair back in full. When Danielle does not meet these conditions to his satisfaction, Joe becomes enraged with his estranged wife. Joe also has strong words for Richard. He warns the pastry chef bombastically to stay away from his wife. Police did confirm Joe's alibi. He was undeniably at a party 40 miles away, but with 40 people in attendance, including one of their own, police wondered if the alibi wasn't a little too convenient. Also, the alibi did not rule out the possibility that Joe had an accomplice in orchestrating the disappearance of his wife and her former lover. In 2006, the Federal Bureau of Investigation became involved in the case of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. In 2007, they took jurisdiction over the case. In 2008, the FBI announced that they were now investigating the case as a murder for hire. While they did not formally name any suspects, considering the lack of motivation anyone else had to eliminate the duo, Joe Imbo is believed to be the central focus of the renewed investigation. All right, so what do I think happened? The story of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. is just so mysterious. The fact that two individuals and a 3,000-pound vehicle could just disappear off the face of the earth is just unbelievable to me. I have been aware of this case for a long time, and going into my research, I was prepared to tell you that I believed Richard may have been more intoxicated than he thought, and in a tragic accident, the couple and the truck ended up in some body of water, never to be seen again. But when I got further into the thorough research I undertake in every one of these cases, I became less convinced. Here's why. In the general area where Danielle and Richard were last seen, there are no major waterways other than the Delaware River. Not that I can see anyways, and if I'm wrong, my viewers from this neck of the woods, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, please feel free to correct me in the comments below. Additionally, there are no roads that lead into the Delaware, only bridges. Richard told Anthony and Michelle that he was going to drive Danielle back to New Jersey before returning home for the night. There are 3 main bridges that can take you from Pennsylvania to New Jersey: the Walt Whitman Bridge, the Benjamin Franklin Bridge, and the Betsy Ross Bridge. The Benjamin Franklin Bridge was his most likely option. It was the bridge he most often traveled on this journey. However, I believe that if an accident occurred on or around any of these bridges, someone would have witnessed the mishap. Here is my Socratic path to ruling out this theory. Ready? Here we go, follow along. I believe for the accident theory to be true, the truck must be hidden underwater. The Delaware River is the only body of water in the area capable of this secretion. The Delaware River can only readily be accessed by one of 3 major bridges. An accident cannot happen on a major bridge without notice. That was exhausting. Still with me? All right, good. Next, let's talk about the random attack theory. This could definitely be possible. Like any big city, Philadelphia definitely has some violent areas. The sector where Danielle and Richard disappeared from was one of these areas. Carjackings were common in the area. However, most carjackings do not result in murder. When they do, the commission of the act is usually confined to the specific area of the theft. As much as I try, I can't really envision a carjacking scenario that involves 2 individuals being taken to a secondary location. Not to mention the fact that Richard's pickup truck has never been located. I don't see it, so I'm ruling it out. So, in the wise words of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, when you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. I, like the FBI, believe that what we have in the case of Richard Petrone Jr. and Danielle Imbo is a murder for hire. And when you consider that no one in their lives other than one person had cause to hire a hitman, I think the insight is clear. I believe that weeks before the night of February 19th, 2005, Joe Imbo, seething with rage from being rebuffed by his ex-wife, solicits a hitman. On February 18th, Joe picks up his son from Danielle. With the young boy out of the house, Joe initiates the hit. On February 19th, 2005, the hitman arrives in the parking lot of Danielle's condominium. He plans on breaking into the property later that evening and killing the woman while she sleeps. All he has to do now is wait. Cruel fate, however, has other plans. From his SUV, the hitman watches a 2001 Dodge Dakota drive into the housing condominium parking lot. Richard Petrone Jr. enters into the conspiracy and the target number doubles. Danielle bounds to the truck and Richard aims his truck towards Philadelphia with the hitman in tow. He keeps his distance, and when Danielle and Richard arrive at the bar, he parks just up the street. The gunman follows them down South Street and watches as they walk into Abilene's. The job must be completed tonight. Danielle will have her son tomorrow. The urgency is paramount. He slinks around Richard's pickup truck and secretes himself in the back seat of the vehicle. At the conclusion of their night out, Richard and Danielle return to the parked black truck. They laugh to each other as they enter the vehicle, never noticing the stowaway in the rear of the cabin. As Richard ignites the vehicle, the man announces himself. Without preface, he shoots Richard right in the temple before turning to Danielle and doing the same with the silenced weapon. The two slump down in their seats. The man calmly gets out of the truck. He pries Richard out of the front seat and conceals him away in his former hiding spot. He buckles Danielle into her resting place and drives himself and the murdered duo far from the tragedy on South Street. In a lonely, well-hidden junkyard, the hitman feeds the pickup truck and the bodies of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. through a trash compactor. His deadly employ complete. The disappearance of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. has left an enormous void in the missing couple's families. The absence is particularly hard on Richard's daughter, Angela. The now married mother faced the sad reality that on her wedding day, there was no dad for the father-daughter dance. No dad to give a speech reminding her new husband to take care of his little girl, and no dad to give her away with a walk down the aisle. Danielle's ex-husband, Joe Imbo, has moved on. He left New Jersey and now lives in the state of North Carolina. The FBI continues to investigate the cold case and maintain a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in the disappearance of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. Thank you so much for listening to the story of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone Jr. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And hey, before I go, I gotta tell you that you are a wonderful individual who is capable of good. If you are struggling right now for any reason, just remember that we, all of us, are in this together, and you are here for a reason. Be kind to yourself and everyone you come in contact with. I'm Brandon Smith, and I'll see you next time.